Hi, this is the Match Now with Sean channel. Hey!
Hello.
And it's actually something that me and Joe actually agreed on. Was that
Wow.
there's rumors.
That's not often.
Yeah.
Hello.
This is Match Now with Sean. As you can see, I've got two people beside me for a change.
Hey, Sean. Yeah, we should. Get him in here. Get him in. Come on.
You got my man.
Yeah, it's a little bit of eye candy for you. Hello, this is Match Now with Sean, with your host Sean, and my little sidekick Bill. How are you, man?
Thanks, man.
How's things?
Nah, they're good. Well,
Yeah,
good.
you look like you're off work today. Yes, you're off work.
Yeah.
For
I took
once,
the
for
day
once
off
you,
today, so it was nice.
for once, for once you're off, and I'm trying to do it in line with
Yeah,
you.
it was
That's
easy
good.
today.
Yeah. So, where we start?
Well, I don't know, man. Oh man, I know you want to talk about the 49ers and how
Yeah,
they do business over here and
because
how
I'm
they're doing
interested.
business
Because
over there.
yeah,
You
because it's
know,
interesting. Because they don't seem to be doing. They seem to be a bit slow and off the mark here. But what do you like over in the US?
they're actually pretty ruthless over here as far as doing things. They don't really play around all that much, which is really surprising. How they're kind of mucking it up over there. I mean, I don't get it. Why it takes so long to figure things out. I mean, it goes back to you look at Ibrox, you look at our transfer window. There's a lot of things that can be. You're just looking at it and you're going, "What's the deal, man? Why do you guys move so slowly?" You know, you can't do that over here. So why do you think you can do it over there? You can't do it over there even less. The thing is you know I hope they understand that, you make a lot less money in the championship than you do in the Premier League. So you can't, you don't get relegated in the NFL. Okay. You have a
Mm,
bad season, you get rewarded with a draft pick, right? With a really high draft pick, right?
mm.
You don't get rewarded for doing poorly in England in
No,
football. You get
no.
dropped and you make a lot less money. So
Mm,
you would think that they would be a little bit more urgent in what they're doing, but they just plod along, you know.
mm.
Um, it's a whole
Man,
different thing over here, Sean.
mm,
It's
yeah.
it really is. Like players over here, if they're not performing well for a football team, they get benched, and if they get unhappy about it, they get cut, and then they can't play for anybody. Over there, if that happens, then they get signed by somebody else, or they whine a little bit, and they say, "Oh, geez, well, we don't want somebody unhappy on our team, so we better let him go for what he wants to do." That doesn't happen over here. If you get unhappy, they're just like, well, you better play better then if you're unhappy, because you're not getting on the start. You're not starting just because you're unhappy, and you're not going to get traded because you're unhappy either. You're
No,
staying here. You signed your name on that dotted line. That's all she wrote.
yeah.
But it's a completely different ball game over there.
It's like what we did it with Nanto last year. It's like or not last year, the year before. He should have told out of of the pram, and he was told by Farkwell, you can change under 21s, mate. He
Mm.
was like, you know where you're going. And eventually he backed down and he was like, okay. And he realised what he'd done wrong. He apologised and got rid
Yeah,
of his agent as well. So really seemed to
yeah.
have
And now he's out
cooperated
of
with all
favor
right.
again. It seems like, right? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know what's happened there. I still think he's. It's not that I don't think Fact doesn't like him. I think it's that I think they're looking to sell him in January because he's the one that would make us the most money and the most profit. And I don't think they want to scupper him getting injured, and then they can't
the
sell him in
thing about it
January.
is, though, Sean, I mean, they're sort of biting their nose off to spite their
I
face if
know,
they're just looking to sell
I know,
somebody,
I know.
because you're allowing, a guy. Hey, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not an Aronson bashing guy. I mean, I am
No.
sometimes. He ticks me off.
Yeah.
But look, at least he goes out there and gives effort. But
Yeah.
he's just not good enough. That's the problem. He doesn't do what we
Yeah.
need him to do.
And I wish
And
he was good enough. I wish he was good
I wish he
enough
was too. But I
because
mean,
he does all the hard. He does a lot of the running around and
yeah,
he does a
I
lot of
wish
great.
he.
He's great at pressing and stuff like that. But fuck me, I'd wish he was good at his first
Yeah,
thought process. Just go forward.
the thing about it is you have Nanto and you have James, and it's. I mean, if you look back 2 years ago, did we think that we would actually be having this discussion about James being our like kind of like almost, geez, we need to get Dan James in. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's where we are as a club right now. I mean, you
But
know,
Farke's done a Farke's done a great job actually with James. It's one of the few I think that has actually improved.
he did a great job with
The
James in the championship. Okay,
yeah.
it's way different, man. James is going
Mm,
up against way better, you know, way better and way more skilled defense than
mm,
what he's going when he's in the championship. So
yeah.
it remains to be seen.
Mm.
All I know is that at least when he came in on Saturday, he did have a
Yeah, he did
shot on
well.
goal, one of
And I think he looked
the two. I mean,
but he had half a shots.
yeah, I mean,
But I think he looked quite lively as well when he got the ball.
yeah,
He looked quite
yeah.
lively and
Look, I like Dan James, and I want him to do
um
well in the Premier League.
I think
I
I
just wish that we could that our we wouldn't be talking about the same players that got us relegated. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's like we stood pat, and
Mm,
then we looked, and we got back up, and we wanted to build up the back. That's fine, but I mean, if you don't have anybody to score, then you got to hold people to 0-0 or 1-1 games,
mm,
and we're not doing that right now. I mean,
no.
if you built up the back, and that's why I don't give Fark a pass on all this either, Sean, because
No.
he got what he
Don't.
wanted in the back. They're not playing well,
Yeah.
right? And he's playing three defensive midfielders that aren't playing defense. I mean,
Mm,
you look at our center backs become immediately better when our midfielders, our defensive midfielders, start tracking their men back. Okay,
yes.
that's the thing is our center backs become a lot better
Mm,
automatically if they would do that. But
yeah.
I mean, there's so many things that's wrong right now. Is that there has to be a change because they're
And
not
I
even
think
doing the basics right now. They're not even
mm,
doing the effort. The effort is lacking right now. It
mm,
looks like they're tentative and they don't know what he really wants from them, and
yeah, and
that's a
like I
problem.
think and the thing is I think you made a point during the week, over the weekend, that there seems to be he seems to have changed he needs to coach that out of them. I think they're so afraid of going for it because Fark is so risk averse that
Well, he's still
they're afraid to actually do the quick and attacking thing because you've seen what he's done with Ramazani, you've seen what he's done with Reuter and Somerville and stuff like that. They went tracking the man back. They went to the defensive side and stuff, so basically got rid in a way.
yeah. I mean, all of our players that have fluidity, he seems to not like. I mean,
No,
you know, the players that can do stuff instinctually, he doesn't like. I
no,
mean, I'm not sure if he's not coaching the creativity and the aggression out of these guys because they're not showing any of it right now.
no, no.
They look like they're just tentative, and it does not bode well for us right now.
I
You know,
just would
I
say, I just would say they're looking scared.
yeah, yeah, they do look scared.
Yeah,
They're scared to make a mistake. That's for sure.
yeah. Um, I think the whole thing with the track and back thing, I just don't think Empathy and Bajol they obviously haven't played enough together to gel together. That because they're both playing like one's not marking the other. It seems to be the last few weeks. It seems to be between him and Bajol. Joel
Yeah,
Abadil tends to be either one of them are not tracking either they're not tracking the man or they're not communicating with each other. Hey, will you take him? He's you could maybe defend that bit him a bit better. You're on the right side of him or whatever. But the same
yeah.
to like that second goal was purely between the two of them and not communicating with each other.
Why aren't they
Like
making
what?
that? Why aren't they getting their communication better during the week before the games? You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
that could be something that's being worked on.
yeah,
And this is not something that's new. This has happened for what, 3 weeks now? We have people cutting in.
yeah.
I mean, why aren't they working on it? I mean, we're not even getting the basics right now. So if we
Mm,
can't do the basics right, against teams that are around us, I mean, you have Aston Villa coming in 2 weeks, and they're at top form
yeah.
right now. And
I'll
then
tell you
you
about
have
that one.
Murderers Row coming after that, you know, and and
It'd be like the end, it'd be like the end of Green Mile. It will by the end of the month.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I sent you a graph that I saw. I
Yeah,
think I think it was on I think Connor had it on his show, and then I looked at it. I looked it up, and man, 70% of clubs that make a change within the first 100 days see their position in the league go up, right? As
mm,
opposed to only 41% of the teams that act later.
wow,
You know,
that's a big
so
difference.
that's a big difference. I mean, and the funny thing is, if you look at that graph, I think it's like 16 and 13% do worse. That's a pretty
Mm.
low percentage to do worse, man. So what are we waiting for? I mean, um,
I think they don't know who they want, and that's the problem. They should do, but I don't. From the way they've given so much rope to Russell Martin
well, you'd think they
and
would learn from
Rangers.
that. So
You'd
we
imagine you
have
think, yeah,
we have a manager who's learning deficient that won't change his tactics or formations, right? And then we have a board that's learning deficient because they didn't learn from the first time when they. I mean, look, when they, it just it never ceases to amaze me. We can never do things the easy way.
no, no, like so. To me, I think it just seems that they don't know what to do. They don't know what they don't have a plan B. Like in the transfer window, they didn't have a plan B.
You know what? I
They
don't
tend
know
to have
about the
their
transfer window, Sean, because you know what, they did spend 100 million, right? I don't
mm,
think it was a bad transfer window,
no, it wasn't. It wasn't.
but they didn't. They got two free two free strikers. Okay.
Who are both very injury prone.
I mean, who does that when you go in when you're coming up that you just like, okay, we'll get two freebies. I mean, it doesn't happen. Yeah, is you know is DCL, is he on 100,000 a week? Probably, but I mean, he's
Mm,
getting paid. You know,
hmm
but they didn't have to pay anything for him either.
Yeah.
So you know there's a problem. And the Mencha, I thought he looked pretty decent the first half. He kind of disappeared after that. He was getting. I mean, they were pretty much like dragging him onto his ass like a few times during that game, and they probably,
Mm,
you know. But here's the thing: we just don't move quickly enough.
mm,
We don't, and the problem is it's going to hurt us this time. It really is,
yeah.
and it's look. We love the club, right?
Yeah.
But it's going to hurt them guys financially,
Yeah.
and they should realize that they're not stupid businessmen. I mean, it's going to hurt if they right now we're in a position to say, look, we're not in relegation. Come and manage our team, right?
Mm.
So we're in a bit of a more attractive position. If they wait until after these next 5 games, I mean, do you think we're not going to be in the relegation zone? I
I'm still
mean,
have to. I've had a few. I listened to a lot of content today with Joe Wayman, and I was listening to a little bit of Connor earlier on. I was listening to Joey D and stuff like that. And I was listening to a bit of Matty earlier on. My thing is with the sacking of him. I think I still some of them were saying that it's kind of split. Some of them are like Joe B and Wayne were saying, well, if they hold on, they're gonna it's a free hit anyway. So when the manager want to come in and take them hits, now they're gonna go in to the relegation zone anyway. But whereas my thing would be like, get him in. You might be able to attract a better manager now while we're outside the relegation zone, and you might get a manager bounce, and you might sneak 3 4 points out of the out of Chelsea and Liverpool. 'Cause Chelsea and Liverpool aren't playing well at the moment. They're in and out of form, so we could sneak something there with a
You
new
never
manager
know what can
bounce,
happen. I
like we
know
did
one
under
thing:
Jesse.
if he continues doing the same thing over and over and over again, that's not going to happen. You
No,
know, and it's just something has to change. It's either him, his tactics, his formations, or we need a new manager. But we can't continue to do the same thing.
is a top manager gonna come into Leeds when they're in the relegation zone? Is it Thiago
But
Motta, who I would love to get? Would have Marco Rose? Would he come in? The only one that I could see that might come in might be Brendan Rodgers, but is he gonna want to do it if we're in the relegation zone?
nobody wants to be in a relegation zone. I mean,
We could end up
that's the
being stuck
thing.
with some.
That's why right
We'd end
now
up,
is the best time. You have
I,
2 weeks
yeah,
before your next game. You can actually start building something in those two
mm,
weeks. Yeah, we have a lot of players that are going international. That's fine. So what? There's a lot of them that aren't going international either. You get those players on the pitch and you teach them what you want them to know. I mean, look, they can teach their buddies when they get back. It's a lot easier if you have the whole, you know, if you have some people knowing what's going on now, man. You go over there, I mean, it's just
yeah.
like it's just the whole thing is this. I don't understand. I mean, are we going to start be? When are we going to start being proactive instead of reactive? And that goes on the pitch, that goes on in the board, it
The
goes to
board seems to be
everybody.
the same. The board seems to be
Yeah,
very like FARC. It's very reactive rather than proactive.
yeah,
And they were saying that, and to me it stinks of when they were still in the place when Jesse was around. Were they the ones that wanted to keep Jesse? I
I
can
don't know.
guarantee you I can guarantee you they wanted to keep Jesse. They didn't they wanted to give him as much rub as they could. They're very
Mhm.
indecisive. They said they came out and said they had nothing to do with it and da da da. And we're going to learn from the mistakes that Rosini and all them made. It's like I think they had a lot more say than people think. It
Well, if they're
seems to
saying
be
they wanted to learn from the mistakes, they haven't, then have they?
no, no,
So that was a bunch of BS.
yeah. Well,
You know,
it's not the first time they've thrown that around. Like at the start of the season against Everton, said, "Oh, we're going to sign loads in the transfer window, and da da da. We're going to be proactive in the transfer window. It's the best time to get somebody is in the end of the transfer window. You got fuck all."
yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing is at the end of the transfer window, they sat there with their thumb up their ass. So
Yeah,
um, I don't know if it's not like I brought this up before too. I don't know if Fark really attracts players. I mean,
yeah,
why would you want to come into a system that basically likes to pass it around? Uh, you know, in their own part of the field most of the time. That's the only time we have possession because once we try to go forward, we're not. They take the ball away from us and hit us on a counter. Okay,
yeah.
so I mean, if all we're doing is passing it between our midfielders and our center backs, and then back to Perry, yeah, that's possession, but it's possession without endeavor. So
And
what
like,
what 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 player really
like
wants to come in that's an offensive minded player and say, "Hey man, I can't wait to play for Daniel Fark. He plays a wide open style. I'll be able to score goals. It'll be great." No one, no one.
and the other thing is. A lot of players and agents then stupid. If anything, agents are very clever. The way they try to manipulate teams and whatever, manipulate managers. They probably look at the way Farkas treated Ramazani and the way
Hmm.
he's treated others. Ray treated Charlie Cresswell. Players like that. The way I know Charlie didn't help himself really, but
No, you can't have your dad call up
you
your
can't tell
work.
me
You
that.
know, I
No,
mean,
you can't.
you know,
Um, but you know what I mean. Like the way he treated, especially the way he treated Ramazani and the way he's
yeah.
treated Somerville. He's kind
Well,
of,
look at Jaden
is there
Anthony.
any
He
way?
seems to be able to do a job for Burnley, right?
Brilliant.
He couldn't get it. He couldn't get on our.
Great point.
Yeah.
Great point. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's a great point. 'Cause, like, so players are going to come into the club thinking if he's going to stifle my creativity as an attacking player, say if I'm a Wilson who we're looking for by the end of the transfer window, he's going to probably look at that thinking, do I really want to have that stifled out of me? You know what I mean? I want to go and attack and get goals. You know what I mean? And create stuff.
All these guys are looking at the World Cup, right? And it's
That's
next
it.
year in the
Yeah,
summertime, right?
yeah.
And like a lot of these guys are looking at where can they get playing time. Well, that kind of takes us out of the loan market because Fark has already said he doesn't like to play loan players over his own players. So why would a loan player want to come in here? I mean, that could actually help us if
Mm,
he's just going to sit him. I'm not saying that he will. I'm just saying that's what's happened in the past.
mm.
He seems like he has his favorites and he wants to play them no matter what. I mean,
Mm.
we saw that in the substitutions on Saturday. What in the hell is Jack Harrison coming in and
He's not a
playing?
left wing back. He's
No,
not a left back. You know what I mean? I actually don't blame Harrison for the goal.
no. I blame
I
Harrison for everything. I blame Harrison for the economic situation we're in now. No, I'm just kidding, man.
um,
It's not. It
because
wasn't his
he
fault,
was
but
playing out of his position. He's playing complete. I
oh
blame
yeah, he's
Fark.
playing out of
He's playing
position. I know,
completely out of
man.
position.
But that's the manager making that choice for him. He
Yeah.
goes on there, and it was just a calamity. You know,
Mm. Like I don't know what. Like and then I wouldn't. I don't think Perry's done an awful lot wrong. A lot of people have given Perry a bit of stick. I don't think he's done an awful lot wrong. It
dude,
should have been stuff should have been cut out before it got to that stage.
dude, what? So he's supposed to be one of the best, have one of the best arms. Now we know his feet aren't great, but he's supposed to have one of the best arms in the world, right? We
Mm.
have never seen him throw the ball yet,
He's been told probably
right?
not to.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
It's too risky.
yeah. That's why I think sometimes, Sean, the risk aversive nature of Fark really is it doesn't help the creativity and even the aggressiveness of the team.
Mm.
Um, it's just basically they're so slow on the build. I mean, there's there's I mean, they are the slowest team in the Premier League. Okay,
Yeah,
now we don't
yeah.
have great scorers. Okay, so let's give the opponent time to set up their defense. Okay, when we have a hard time scoring, anyways. Does that make any sense to you, man?
Makes
I
no
mean,
sense.
I mean,
And if it doesn't make sense to me, and I can see the problems. Fark is supposed to be a professional manager, and is supposed to have done his pro license. Who the fuck gave him a fucking pro license if we can have fucking nose and he fucking can't?
there's things that you can see as a fan, and you just wonder why. And I know I'm not the smartest tactically or anything like that, but you
Neither
know,
am I.
hell, half the people that probably see this are like, "What the hell is an American doing on here in the first place?" But
Nah.
you know, um, the really, if we can see it, why can't he? I mean, it's like almost like he's so stubborn he has blinders on. You know,
Yeah.
it's one thing to believe in your system, but it's another thing to try to force players who don't have the talent to play in your system to play in your system. I mean, it's just it's not working, dude. You know?
And the thing is, they had a plan. They had a plan. You can clearly see there was a plan in the summer to get all these big bastards, big physical bastards that were going to cause harm, that were going to get
But
stuck
we're
into
playing
players,
soft, man. We're
but playing
playing
soft.
soft.
But
You
Fark is
know, so
obviously Fark. I think has got. I think that Arsenal game is still playing on Fark's mind. I think he's afraid to do it now. To do what?
wh-
Because look at us against Arsenal. Look at us against Everton. We got stuck into them. I think it was arguably our best game of the season. We
yeah.
got stuck in. We got around the pitch. You know, we got his scored from open play, but everything else was bang on for me. It was perfect. We got
Yeah,
stuck in.
they didn't give so much
Like you had
space, man.
like
You know?
you seen Ampadu smashing into to what's his name, the Everton player. He smashed into him. Smashed into him. He smashed into players all over the gap. So was Stack. Tanaka was brilliant. And then we got beaten by Arsenal so badly. I think Fark just went, "Oh shit! I go back to my safe zone."
Well, it's not much worse. The Arsenal game wasn't much worse than the Brighton game, right? I mean, it's three
No,
nothing. You know, I mean,
no.
Arsenal beat us 5-0.
I
Brighton could have put 4 or 5 on the board too. They just didn't. You
I
know,
think
I
Brighton
mean,
was nearly. Brighton for me was. I was actually more annoyed at the Brighton match than I was with the Arsenal match.
yeah, I was too.
Because it was the second time around doing the exact same thing. We got caught again, doing the exact
It
same
was
thing
like
that we did against Arsenal. He
it
didn't
was like
learn.
he's like he didn't learn his lesson. You know, and the thing is he's so stuck in his own way that he doesn't see. And I don't know. I'm just over him, man. To tell you the truth, I am.
Yeah,
You know, he and then he sits there and he says, "Oh, we're emotional." Well, dude, here's the problem with that. This is our club, man. This is who we follow. Okay, when you're gone and when all your team is gone, we'll still be here,
you won't.
right? So you won't. You'll go off to some other team. The players, they'll take a powder too. We're still going to be here. So we have a right to voice our opinion. And our opinion's really not good at you right now.
And the thing is, we're
It's not
basically
being
paying you.
emotional. That's just being factual.
And the other thing is, it's like we're paying their wages basically. The
Yeah.
fans are paying their wages by buying merchandise, by um by buying the
Buying tickets
tickets
to
for
the
match,
game.
buying tickets to games,
You know.
buying your food and drink at the matches and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like buy my jersey every year from the club every year, whatever. That's my way of contributing. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
and I'm getting over now in a couple of weeks' time. It's costing me nearly 300 quid to see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's for the flights, tickets, and hotel. 300 quid to see that. You know what I mean? I've
Yeah.
got every right to be pissed off if I am.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
paying to go over. I'm paying a sum of money to for to see you play football. Not
eh,
see us be risk averse and not putting a shift in.
I think what we want to see more than anything as fans is we want to see some fight, man. And you know, you look at Brighton, there was no fight in that team. And then you look at Forest, there was no fight in that team. And you know what? The funny thing is, probably the worst player on the field showed more fight against Forest than all the rest of them. And look, Aronson takes a bad rap a lot, and I don't give him a pass because I don't think he's good enough to be in the Premier League, right?
No,
But
he
he worked his
tries.
ass off, which is more than a lot of players did on that
Yeah,
team on Saturday.
a lot more than bloody
So
captain, and he's been
yeah,
pissing. And the thing is, he started off the season really well, and I put my neck on the line and I said, "I apologise, I got it wrong about Ampadu." And but in the last month, he's actually proven why I was afraid of him being playing the Premier League.
well, maybe he's comfortable, okay, because you know. he's a little comfortable right now because they'll play him even if he's injured, right? You know, and that's a problem. The comfort level of some of these players, like for instance, Aronson should not be playing. Dan James should be up ahead of him. So should Willie, man. But
Well,
he's
that's another
playing.
conversation. Really is another
So,
conversation.
so I don't understand
Where the
what's going
fuck
on
is
there.
I don't
And
know
another
what's
thing
going on there.
I would love to see him say, right, instead of blaming it on the ref after the game, because look,
Yeah,
they still had almost a whole half they had to get through before he scores
exactly. He's
that
gonna say. He's
freaking
gonna say
goal,
that.
man.
Yeah.
That's BS, okay? You don't blame it on the ref, okay? How about you in your presser after the game, the post match, you say, "Look, I got it wrong, man, and I'm going to do better." I've never once saw him do that ever.
I'd actually
He
forgive him
never
more.
takes any of the blame, man.
I'd actually forgive him more if he
Yeah,
did go right. I got it wrong. It's his first time properly being given money to manage properly. You know what I mean? And give him proper money in the Premier League.
I just
So
want to
he's
see
done
him
it.
admit some, you know,
He missed to go. Yeah, we're all. Everybody's normal. Everybody gets things wrong.
yeah,
Everybody does things wrong. I do things wrong at work. As long as my chef would give out to me more if I didn't put my hand up and go and say, "Sorry, I got it wrong. How
yeah,
can you help me get it right the next time?" He'd give out to
yeah.
me more if I didn't say anything, because at least that shows that I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to get better.
You're willing to look. I think I left a comment on one of Maddie's videos, man. You know, not everybody gets all everything that they want, right? Not everybody, you know, at Christmas time, you don't get everything you want, man. Right? I mean, I'm a dad. I get socks and a tie. You know, I get, you know, you think I really want that for Christmas? I mean, I'm old, but I'm not that old, right?
Eh.
So, but here's the thing, man, is so you go on, man, and it's just,
yeah,
you know, nobody gets everything they want, but you did get some of what you want, and you're the guy that has said in the past that you sign off on every person that comes in.
you said
You
that.
said it.
Yeah,
So some of the
what's
transfer
changed?
window is yeah, that hasn't really changed. You know, I would love to see him just come out and say, "Look, there's things that are wrong. We're going to fix them." You know, I would have been a lot more forgiving after the Forest game if he would have come out and said, "Hey, I got it wrong. There's work that I need to do." Okay, I can live with that. The effort is not there right now. I'm going to make sure it is because I'm going to put a foot on their ass.
You've got two
Okay,
weeks. You come out and say I got it wrong. They didn't try hard enough. I'll get into them for the next 2 weeks. I'll
yeah.
smash into them for the next 2 weeks to make
I
sure
mean,
that by the time we come against Villa, we're at least fighting for fighting for 3 points.
we want to see effort, man. You know, and that's the biggest thing. And right now we're not seeing that effort, and it shows. It really does. I mean, you see these guys ball watching. I mean, a lot, and it's been a problem for a while. So you tell me, do they just not know what their assignments are? Are they not being coached up, or are
Like
they
this,
just, you know,
go, go, yeah.
you know, lost?
Like I, yeah, like I think it's getting to the stage where I don't think Gabadoo and Bajol are working well together. So I'm nearly half thinking, do you just put Pascal back in?
He probably will. I mean,
I think he might do as well.
but if the midfielders don't track their man back, it's the same thing's going to happen, man.
But I think
You know,
but it wasn't. I don't think it was too bad
I don't know.
until
I saw
Bajol
something the
the
other day
referees.
that the as many goals when Struck was playing happened as Bijal. All right,
Really, yeah,
so
okay. I didn't see that. Yeah, okay.
it was real close.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we can look back, but I mean,
Mm,
I think it's
no, no,
relatively close.
yeah, yeah. Like I think it's like it's kind of like a captain should be leading by example, and I got to be
Yeah.
harsher. And people think it's because they don't like Gabriel and whatever. And I've been critical of him in the past, but as captain, I think there should be more pressure on the captain than anybody else because you're basically the manager on the pitch. Like Roy Keane, great Irish leader, probably the best captain Ireland have had, best captain scum have ever had. He led by example. He got it wrong. There's times where he got it wrong, like the way he took out Haaland and he got himself sent off a lot and whatever. But he led by example. He put his body on the line. I still never forget that game against Juventus years ago in the Champions League semi-final. He got himself a second yellow card, missed the final, and it was probably still his best performance he's had for Scum. He led by example. He made sure the rest of the boys were going to get to the final.
Well,
You just don't get that. I just don't see that in Ampadu. I just don't think he's that leader. That my type of leader. That's my type of leader. He's one of these by example.
he's not vocal. I mean, I don't think he's all that vocal on the pitch. I think Rodon is more vocal than him on the pitch.
He is
Um,
sometimes, but not as much. He's not too much, but he
I
does
mean,
these
I like Ampadu
sometimes.
as a player. I just think that I don't know what's going on with him because usually the mistakes that he's making, he doesn't make those mistakes.
Mm,
You
like
know.
I've never seen him not track back like that. You know what I mean? I've seen what happened in the first goal against Forest. I've seen him get turned inside out buckets of times in the championship, and that was in the championship. And
Mm,
he got turned inside out there. He did for that first goal. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So like, it's not the first time I've seen that with Ampadu. So like, I'm just a bit lost with him. You know what I mean? And he was so good at the start of the season. He was so good at the start of
Well,
the
at
season.
the start of the season, they were all playing. They were all playing with that energy, with that effort. They were on top. They weren't
Yeah.
giving as much space. And it's like right after the Arsenal game, they're like, "Oh no, we got to back off these guys. We can't let five.
Mm,
We'll let 3 goals in, but 5 goals, no, man, we can't do that."
no.
So
Like they did okay against Everton and stuff like that, and they did okay against Spurs. Sorry, not
Bournemouth wasn't a
Spurs.
bad game. If we
Newcastle.
played Bournemouth, again,
Newcastle.
I mean, that was an own goal. I mean,
Yeah, like
I
it
mean, they
hasn't.
played well against Bournemouth too. I mean, I don't know what's happened
It's only
because
really the last month. It's only really the last month for me. It's really gone
and
bad.
and the thing is some of the teams that they've played against, yeah, Brighton's good, right? But they're not. They're going to be mid-table probably, right? And if we're going to go to Brighton and just go there and Brighton and Forest is below us right now. It's
For
almost like
now.
we were playing for a draw. And you could tell we were playing for a draw because he was satisfied with the 1-1 at the half, came
Mm,
out, Dice goes, "All right, I've seen enough of this." 59 minutes in, he makes a change. 2 minutes
yeah,
later, they score, right?
yeah.
So then he waits till 70 minutes to do the kitchen sink formation, okay? And it just it's you can do that kind of stuff when you're the best team in the league, right? Like
Mm,
last year, we had the probably the most talented team in the championship. This year we're nowhere close to that, okay?
no.
So you can't use the same stuff because guess what, man? The guys that we put on didn't strike fear in any of those guys that were playing on the
Mm,
pitch for Forest. They were like, all right, you
yeah,
know, they're like, okay, we see better than this most weeks.
yeah.
So we're not worried about this, man.
Mm,
And if that's his tactics, then we're in a lot of trouble.
yeah. And like back to the 49ers a little bit. If they don't have knowledge of the English football, the ones running it, like
No,
Prague and
but
stuff
they
that did it.
but they should be
But
hiring people that do have knowledge.
exactly what I was gonna say. If it was me, I would have. There's Dougie Freeman, who was a striker back in the day. He was director of football at Crystal Palace. I would have tried to get maybe him, or or Gordon Strachan is technical director at Dundee, I think. So
Mm.
I would have maybe tried to get him, who knows the club a little bit, who knows the club a lot. Bit of a Leeds legend, knows the club a lot. Would have been a worst thing in the world. He's great man manager. He was a great man manager back in the day. Would he been able to coast a few players in by his natural charm, get somebody in? You know what I mean? Like someone that would know that was the game. You know what I mean?
Well, I look at some of these other clubs like that have done well in the Premier League, right? You got Brighton, who always seems to be able to find talent, right, for dirt cheap and then sell it for 25, 30 million. Okay, they do it all the time. I mean, their scouting department.
Fantastic.
Who's the number two guy for them? Go talk to him and say, "Hey, you want to run a department? You're going to wait a long time to run this department. I have a team, and we'll back you. Run this department." I mean, I don't understand why we don't have people that don't have knowledge, or if they do, they're brand spanking new, man. Underwood,
Yeah,
um, that was it was like having a hot fudge sundae without the cherry on top. Was our transfer window?
yeah.
You know, we didn't put the cherry on top,
No,
and that's the problem.
yeah. We could have lost that pull down, didn't we? Once we start losing the few, it's like we were looking to get our third and fourth option in, and it's just like we're kind of
Yeah,
settling
and they
for.
didn't want to come either. I mean,
They
that's the
didn't know,
problem.
you know.
So
Like I don't.
something is wrong with our recruitment. That is. I mean, because I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. Um, that I'm sorry, man.
You all right?
I hear it that we don't have what we need, but so you have what you have. Play to their strengths, not their weaknesses. You know.
Like as I was told, as I was told, I guess a good tradesman never blames his tools.
Mm.
You work with what you have.
Yeah, I mean, if you only have hamburger and potatoes, you make something good, right? You're a chef.
You make
You know,
you make you make
you
you
can
make,
still make
you
something
make
pretty darn good,
you can make the
right?
best out of it you can. You make the
At least,
best out
at
of it
least,
what you can.
at least make it so somebody wants seconds. Make it to where we're actually fighting, okay?
Yeah,
Because
make
right
sure you
now we're
cook it.
not.
And the least you can do is make sure you cook it properly.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know either, man. I
um,
know one thing. I don't think he's going to change. I really don't think
no,
he'll change.
I hope he does.
Um,
But I hope he does. But
Look, it would make it a lot easier if he did, right? It would make it
no,
tons easier if he did
yeah,
change.
mm,
I mean, I don't like to think of anybody getting fired from their job. I mean, it's your
no,
livelihood.
no,
It's not anything to sneeze at, but you're not giving the fan base a choice to want to back you right now because you're not doing the job. And if you're not
no,
doing the job, then we got to find somebody that will do the job. And that's the way the 49ers should look at it. They should look at it,
yeah,
be ruthless. Don't
mm,
sit there and wait. If they wanted to get rid of him in May and now they're going to give him 14 games, 15
mm.
games, you know,
And the other thing is, if they didn't want Perot in
you
their
should have sold
team,
him.
should have sold him.
We'd have had some more money to throw at some of these
Money,
players.
you're telling me that our championship team would have
Oh yeah.
would have taken him. He would
Oh
have.
yeah.
I could have seen an Ipswich or even a Middlesbrough or somebody, one of the big teams in the championship, taking him in a heartbeat. You'd be mad
Yeah.
not to. You'd be
Yeah.
mad not to. He's the top goal. He's been the top goal scorer nearly every single season he's played in the championship. He's been the top goal scorer, bar one season.
I think you know what, and he might do well in the Premier League if he's paired with somebody, but he can't be the lone man up there.
But even if
You
they
know?
didn't think so, but my point is, maybe didn't think he was. But if they didn't think he was, be proactive and fucking get rid.
Yeah.
Meslier is still at the club.
I
He's
know.
still at the
It's just
club.
we
We've
have
got
players
four.
that are never
We've
going to get on the pitch for us, like Mess, and he's never going to get on the pitch for us, and we're
like
still paying him something.
like
But
what other team would have four goalkeepers in their team
doesn't make any sense.
in their squad for the season?
The worst thing is that it took Fark how long to realize that the dude he was going to blow it for him last year.
Yeah,
It took
like,
him forever to realize that.
and I
He didn't
don't
even
think we would
sit him
have.
after the Sunderland game, right? That dude should have been sat down after the Sunderland game.
Yeah,
I mean,
potentially.
really, just for him to get his head back together. If you wanted to play him some more, sit him down and say, "Hey, look, man, you're gonna just get it together this week. We're gonna play, and we're gonna go from there." Okay, but he persisted in saying he's the best goalkeeper in the league. All right, I mean,
Because of the clean sheets you got. Because of the clean sheets you got
but
from
those
that
clean
fucking great
sheets,
defense we have. But mostly
yeah,
from the
those
defense.
clean
That
sheets weren't
defense is
because of
brilliant.
him. How many times last year, or in the last how many years? 3, 4 years. One shot, one goal. Two shots, two goals.
And it's all
I mean,
happened. And it's all
eh,
came from that year we went down. The year we went down. The, under with Jesse and all that stuff. It was the second season. He just kept conceding goals, and he hasn't recovered.
no,
Mentally, he hasn't recovered.
he's shell shocked. That's why they should have sat him down,
Mm. Like
and to get
like
his
Sam
form
Allardyce
back.
to that. Like Sam Allardyce to that for towards the end of the season,
Yeah,
but didn't
Big
make
Sam
much of a
said, "No, no,
difference.
no, dude, you're sitting." He's
Mm.
like, "No, man, I can't have this."
Yeah,
You know,
but is that else you want to talk about? Are we
no, I'm good, man.
all good?
I hope, yeah,
Hopefully next time we get talking, it'll be a bit more positive.
I hope so because I hate being negative. I don't like it,
Oh
but
no,
I think it's my opinion right now, so I'm going to share it. I
yeah,
mean, and it's just my opinion. That's all. I mean, it's nothing
no.
else. But
What do we know? Like, you know what I mean? We're just fans giving
yeah,
our opinions. You know what I mean? But hopefully it's a bit more positive next week.
I hope so. Look, if he comes out and beats Aston Villa, more power to him, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see it changing, and that's the problem. I don't see him being flexible enough to change,
So,
and that's my worry. You know, so. But hey, man, I've
all right.
enjoyed talking to you, dude.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
Take
Yeah,
care,
guys,
Sean.
keep watching on. Yeah. See you later. Yeah.